Hello, hi, good afternoon from this particular side of East Africa. My name is Kevin Randiek, and also good afternoon from probably the respective locations across the world. It's an absolute pleasure to be back at this particular hour again. Welcome back, everyone, to those who joined us this morning in our language of actually Kenya, and basically probably also where we were actually brought up. We say karibuni sana, lugha ya Kiswahili. Translating it into English, we is saying welcome so much. And I hope after a long day of probably getting into the breakout sessions and interacting with probably a new friend, if you are able to actually make one, we hope that this particular final hour of the day is going to be interactive, is going to be engaging, and we're going to be enjoying ourselves. Hoping that you have been making the most of your time during this summit so far. When we leave here tomorrow, I'm here to remind you that this is also where the real work began, where the real work begins. Right at the start, I want to remind you that if you would prefer to tune in into this particular plenary session of the summit in French or Spanish, go to the following website. That's at app.interactio.io. That's app.interactio.io. And when you actually get onto that particular platform, what we require you to do is download the Interactio app to your smartphone. Then visit the App Store, search for the app Interactio, download the app, type in the event code YMCA, choose your language, and press play. To repeat, the event code is at YMCA. The link of the same actually is going to be shared at the chat right away. All right, my name is Kevin Randiek. An absolute pleasure to be your host on this particular hour once again. And as probably I'd mentioned earlier on and during the start of the day, I am excited to be able to take you through our action-packed show for an international dialogue with the key aim that we are here is all about creating solutions that are youth-driven and creating solutions that probably in a way could probably influence and shape the future of work. Remember, yes, because of the COVID pandemic, as we all know it, the society that we live in has been thrown into an employment crisis. But then again, we are not meant to actually stop there, sit back, be complacent, and say that, we are facing an employment crisis. All we need to do is to rise up onto the occasion and ask ourselves on each and every day, how best can we innovate? How best can we revise ourselves? And how best can we position ourselves to the existing opportunities that exist in the future? And probably on a good ordinary day, on a good ordinary year, what could have happened is on such a particular platform, we could have actually gathered in an international venue or probably a good location, and we could be having physical touches and probably physical interactions. But here it is, we are converging globally across about 100 plus countries global wide with about 1,400 participants actually present. That's already something. And it means that despite the whole challenges that we have actually faced as citizens and we have actually faced as young people, we've tried to redeem ourselves. And here it is, courtesy of World YMCA. We here on this particular summit themed the future of work. Again, my name is Kevin Rondiek. You are host on this particular plenary session. And if probably you're looking at maybe just taking this particular conversation online and attempting to show the world what you're up to on this particular day, one of the Twitter handles that I'm going to urge you to probably check at this particular hour is at World YMCA. Probably, hey, I mean, with the whole conversations around social media, you can go to the World YMCA Twitter handle page and probably see who is tweeting, who is retweeting, check up onto the hashtag, and probably also through that, you could be able to plug one or two things that you might have missed at the course of the day, because yes, there were several existing breakout sessions that also existed since morning. Like one of them that I will pick up on was the discussion around the care economy and why it's really important also as young people to take care of our mind. taking care of our mind is not only from a point of what we think, but also from a point of what we consume. And if probably you had a chance of picking up the discussion by Rebecca, that's earlier on in the day, she brought in the essence of why it's really important to stay solo. But in the process of staying solo, you're actually solo in your mind in the right way, and your attitude is right. We actually also want to know if you made a new connection in the networking area, right? We want to figure out what has been that particular unique experience that you've been able to actually pick out of this particular summit experience so far. Or have you watched something interesting from the resource library that we have within the dashboard of the site? Let us know probably something exciting that has emerged for you since yesterday to today, and probably you can also share much of those particular details on the chat box itself. And if you're probably getting in right now and asking yourself, who is that cool gentleman on the screen? Hey, you can check me out across all social media handles. My handle name is at Kevin's Randiek. That's KEVINS RANDIEK. All right, probably let's go on to the action areas of what to expect in the next 45 minutes. We'll be having a keynote speaker in the name Pierre Dupac of the Open Classrooms. And our third panel, sorry, let me just take that up again. In the next 45 minutes of this particular segment, we'll be having a keynote speaker by the name Pierre Dubac. I hope really I got the name clearly and sound. And actually of the Open Classrooms, and our third panel of the summit so far, talking about youth and the future of green jobs. So, hey, if you're so much also focused and centered on what is it that exists within the green economy, that's probably a keynote speech that I'll be looking forward to you probably picking by as the summit gets by. But right about now, allow me to introduce to you a video that you're about to see on screen, and it's all about introducing the YMCA Youth-Led Solutions, themed the future of work. Thank you, and over to you, studio. All right, thank you very much, team. And if probably you're joining me right now, my name is Kevin Randek, founder, Brand K Communications. I'm actually coming in live from the county of Kenya, specifically on a location called Nakuru right now. That particular video just sets onto you some bits of background of what you expect of this particular summit. And so far, this is actually the second day B2B. So ensure as much as possible when you plug in, you get to make the most out of it within the short time, within the short period, and within the short minutes and hours that we're going to have together. A key probably that I would want to attempt to push and drive onto you is try as much as possible to attend as many sessions as you can. And of course, through your interaction with the platform, check out, rather attempt to check out all on-demand content available, and you can actually pick that out from the resource library. When we are not live later on today or tomorrow before on our closing plenary, don't forget to share your highlights of the summit. Pick a selfie. Like I will attempt and probably do a virtual selfie when we get off a stage for me to just show you probably where I'm coming in from. And you know what we expect you to do with that particular selfie is go online under the hashtag YMCA Youth-led Solutions and tag at World YMCA. Allow me probably to pick that again in order for you to share your highlights in terms of probably just showing the entire world and showing your fellow peers what you've been up to the last 2 days. Take a selfie of yourself, take a picture of your group, whether it's a pet, and try and show us as much as possible what you're doing, and that the only one way probably that you can get to do that is that put the hashtag YMCA Youth Like Solutions, tag at World YMCA, and keep those comments and chats coming in. Also, take a look at the points. As there are a couple of things for you to answer there. So, all we're just trying to urge you is enjoy, pick as much learning lessons as possible that you can, and probably let's also see what's going to emerge out of this at the tail end of it. I don't know how if at all we can have a bit of, if at all we can have a bit of comments maybe coming in from social media. Let me see if I can probably can pick one or two of them. Probably I'm a bit struggling to pick up on that. Let me go and give a bit of detail in terms of who our key speaker is and the reason why, if at all is not checked out what the open classroom is all about, then I'm urging you to attempt to Google, I'm urging you to probably just attempt to listen in onto the speakers going to come in a short while. Open Classroom is actually the leading online education platform in Europe with more than 2 million unique visitors each and every month. All right? In the sense that with the whole idea of online learning, Open Classroom is a key project that's already in existence, and it's taking care of about 2 million unique visitors each and every month. Our next speaker, Pierre Dubé, was just a teenager when he met the co-founder of Open Classroom, and they began a journey together to create a mission-driven company headquartered in Paris, France. Among other numerous distinctions that Pierre has is that besides Pierre being our second guest, Pierre has featured, sorry, allow me to take that again. Pierre has been featured as among the top 30 under 30 by the Forbes magazine, actually just recently in March 2021, and he was also distinguished as Europe's next unicorn by the technology trade show Viva Technology. Ladies and gents, from whichever region of the world that you're plugging in from, please, let's do some virtual claps and introductions to just support and welcome Pierre Duba onto stage. And they are probably going to have a pre-recorded keynote from Pierre Duba, who is the co-founder and CEO of Open Classroom. Actually, the speech over to you.
Hello, my name is Pierre Debac. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Open Classrooms, a mission-driven company that I started with my co-founder, Mathieu, 8 years ago in 2013. My journey actually started even before Open Classrooms, when in 1999, when we were teenagers, 20 years ago, we started to create online courses. So we were in middle school, my friend and I, and we started to publish online courses, the courses we wish we had at school. It was in middle school, we were age of 11 and 13 years old. The first course was on web development, so we wanted to help some friends to get the skills they needed to create websites. And then we continued, we kept on. We did that parallel to our studies in middle school, high school, college. For over 10 years, we were creating online courses for free. and it became the reference platform to learn coding in French-speaking countries. So at the end of our studies, we decided to move into a full-time job and create Open Classrooms as a mission-driven company, a public benefit corporation, and a B Corp certified company. So the mission of Open Classrooms is to make education accessible, and especially professional education, so education leading to jobs. So it's at the crossroad of higher education and vocational training. So we became the first fully online college in France when we started back then. And then from there, we started to create and operate degree programs. So programs leading to associate bachelor's and master's degrees that we grant with the name of our institution on the degree. And those degree programs lead to tomorrow's jobs. So it's mostly around tech and digital skills or business related jobs like HR, accounting, or sales. We're now a company of 320 team members. We're based in Paris, London, New York. We sell mostly in B2B. It means that we work with 1,500 companies, B2B clients, on their upskilling, reskilling, and apprenticeship needs. So precisely, it means that upskilling, we train their employees on short-term vocational training programs. Reskilling means that we train them for a longer period of time, between 6 to 12 months, to make them switch careers and move on to a new career internally within the same company or externally. And in this case, we would help them to find a job elsewhere. Apprenticeship means that we effectively help employers to build their talent supply chain. So that means that they want to hire many people on highly demanded jobs and they don't find this talent. So we're here to create this talent. So we start with a work contract, an apprenticeship work contract. So the person would be trained while working. So they're going to be trained for 1 day a week. They're going to work for 4 days a week, and they'll get a college degree at the end of this program. It lasts for 1 to 3 years, and they have a salary, and tuition fees are covered by the employer. We also work with governments on reskilling programs for job seekers and school dropouts. We train thousands of them on tomorrow's jobs and to help them basically find a job and get back to the workforce. Until now, we raised $150 million to help us continue to invest in new products. We cover 50 jobs right now. We want to cover more jobs outside of tech or business related fields. We want to expand into new territories, new geographies as well. So right now we're big in Europe. We're starting to get bigger also in North America, in Africa. We started also to get into Asia and Japan a year ago through partnership. So we will hire in the next 6 months roughly 300 additional team members. So it's quite exciting, obviously, because we are here to try and make education more accessible. So we'll have more resources to get to this final goal. And to us, the end goal is actually the number of job placements. So that means the number of students we place in the workforce. Last year, we placed 4,400 students in the workforce. But as we're growing really quickly, actually just last month alone, we placed in the workforce more than 1,600 people in the workforce. So we're growing extremely fast. And next year, it's likely that we're going to start placing tens of thousands a year. And our goal or vision is to be able to train and place 1 million students in the workforce every year by 2025. By then, obviously, we would have probably more than double every year. We would have expanded into new geographies, into new fields of study, but we would have also worked really hard on the product. The product itself is a combination of project-driven pedagogy competency-based education. So you have to learn by doing. So you have to complete projects, you have courses online to gain the competencies that you need. You have to defend your project in front of an assessor via video conference. And mentorship is here to help you every week via one-on-one mentorship sessions with an industry practitioner. So you have 50 mentorship sessions in a 12 months long program. So you have a really high touch, human based level of support with open classrooms. And that's what makes the difference with all the e-learning platforms. So you can actually complete your program until the very end, being said that the very end for us is to get a job, not just to get your degree. So that's my story. It's been 20 years and I've been working with Matthew, my co-founder, on open classrooms, and we're now more than 300 in the team, 2,000 mentors, and 2 million students a month. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Pierre, for that. That was a good one. Allow me probably to just pick it again on explaining what Open Classrooms is all about. Actually, Open Classroom is the leading online education platform in Europe with more than 2 million unique visitors each and every month. And as we've just seen on the clip, that was Pierre Dubec just explaining what the whole Open Classroom concept was all about, and how the journey to that probably has brought him up to this particular end. Remember also just a bit of a background in terms of who Pierre is. He has actually been featured before as among the top 30 under 30 by the Forbes magazine. And this was just recently in March 2021. And he is also he was also distinguished as Europe's next unicorn by the technology trade Viva Technology. Probably, I hope I've done justice by putting into perspective what the Open Classroom is all about and who Pierre Dubac is. That was a good one. Thank you. Allow me probably to get into what is coming in next. Now, the International Labour Organization estimates that the transition to energy sustainability by the year 2030 in countries that signed up for the Paris Agreement could create 25 million new green jobs. But what do green or climate jobs look like? We put this into context. Our next panel discusses just that, and to lead this particular discussion, I'll want to bring on board Ixel Cruz, who is a sustainability consultant for the YMCA Mexico City. Not only has Ixel been a volunteer with the YMCA for over 20 years, 20 years is absolutely massive. That's about 2 decades, putting it into context. He has also collaborated with international organizations such as the World Bank and the WWF, including working on projects to define urban stability and adaptation and resilience initiatives. Ixel, over to you. The platform is used to enjoy. Let's probably see what this particular session brings by. So this particular question coming in next is on youth, jobs in the green economy, and the future of work, and it's going to be like that as well. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kevin, for the introduction. Good morning to you all. Good afternoon, good noon. It is my pleasure to be here with you all, the people in the audience, and to share this space with the panelists that are amazing people. They're going to share with us and enrich this experience with their knowledge and experience about the green economy. I want to introduce you to Marwan Benali, who is going to be in the panel. He He's a green job specialist with the Decent Rural Employment Team, in Inclusive Rural Transformation and Gender Equity Division of the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, from UN. He previously worked as a postdoctoral scientist at the World Vegetable Center's regional office in Benin and as a postdoctoral researcher within the Department of Agricultural Economics and Rural Development of the University of Göttingen in Germany. Before that, he worked as a consultant in the Trade and Markets Division of the FAO. Marwan holds a PhD in agricultural economics from the University of Göttingen in Germany. Thank you, Marwan, for being here. Such a pleasure. I also want to introduce you to Regula Schicke. Regula is Circular Capital's managing director. She leads the investment strategy, manages the investment team, and oversees Circular Capital Ocean Fund's investment portfolio in South and Southeast Asia. Together with her team, Regula manages asset allocation as well as due diligence portfolio management on fund investments. She also provides strategic advisory to the portfolio companies, focusing on strategy, business development, fundraising, key hiring decision, financial management, and governance. Regula is an experienced global professional with over 20 years of leadership, business development, project management, finance, and social enterprise startup experience. Regula, thank you very much for being here. It's so nice to have you here. And finally, I want to introduce you to Howard Lee Chang. Howard is a program director of Chai Hoon YMCA of Taiwan. He's one of the grantees from the Youth-led Solutions of Climate Action Summit from October 2020. And he will be sharing his vision as a local leader developing a green solution in his community. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Again, it is my pleasure to have you all here. And as Kevin said, the objective of this panel is to share with the audience what is a green economy. Maybe some people didn't know that there are colors in the economy. So let's bring them an open view of what is the green economy, the main aspects of the green economy, and why does the green economy matters and matters mostly right now in this context of the pandemic. So let's engage them in this. Marwan, how if you start?
Okay. Thank you very much, Excel, for the invitation. Really happy to be here with you. So just to respond to your first question on what is the green economy, I'll refer to the most authoritative definition, that is the one given by the United Nations Environment Programme. And basically they define the green economy as an economy that results in improved human well-being and social equality, while at the same time significantly reducing environmental risks and ecological scarcities. So in other words, within a green economy, there are a lot of efforts and investment that are made to support growth in income and employment, and they aim to reduce pollution, carbon emissions, enhance resource efficiency, but also create green jobs, and while preventing the loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services. So why does it matter? I mean, it was mentioned in the introduction of this panel that the greening economy matters for employment generation. I mean, there's this estimate that was given of the creation globally by 2030 of 24 million new jobs. Those are ILO estimates. And from an FAO perspective, this is also particularly important in rural areas. So in rural areas, there are about over three quarters of the world's poor who live and work, but often in precarious conditions. So building and strengthening the green economies can help improving the conditions of rural households through the generation of new and better economic opportunities. So this can be through the diversification of an agriculture sector and creating new niches, such as the new organic crop production, but also on the broader rural economy with the creation of new types of green activities and jobs downstreams and upstreams of what we call the agri-food systems. Another interesting aspect is that many of these activities are low cost and low input opportunities, so they can be well suited for to benefit the most vulnerable groups and population in rural areas. And it was also mentioned very quickly in the introduction the role of the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's particularly important to consider the green economy in that context. I mean, the crisis has translated into both an economic and environmental crisis. So that stresses the need for green recovery and green jobs that would actually address simultaneously both economic and environmental perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a very, very great perspective from the UN. And yes, the economy should be, and the recovery should be green. So this is about green economy. Rula, how could you, what could you tell us about, for example, circular economy related and how it links with the green economy?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to contribute to this big event. Yes, let me look a bit further within the green economy. Obviously, we have the circular economy, right? And the circular economy in the context of where I work is finding solutions to bring we consume a PET bottle we drink water out of, or all the packaging we consume day in day out. How do we not linearly throw them away and out of our sight, out of our mind, and it leaks into the ocean, but rather find ways together with corporations, with governments, and all the stakeholders to create solutions which really bring the material back into the circular economy and make, in simple terms, take a PET bottle we drink water out of and make another PET bottle out of it. And within that circular economy of alone plastics and plastics recovery to prevent that plastic going into the ocean, there are tremendous job opportunities for young people. There is opportunities in redesigning the packaging we're using day in, day out. There are opportunities in how we recycle the material going forward, right? Upcycling it. There are just tremendous opportunities, and it really goes back to seeing the value in what we have as resources, and also going back to the green economy in how do we more ecologically, environmental friendly, more consciously use manufacturing to really produce the product. So within plastics, there is tremendous opportunity, but also in fashion, right? Green economy and circular economy, how we implement that in the context of fashion, fast fashion, which is a big issue as well. So I think it's about how we build back better and how we change our mindset to put value to the raw material and not just throw it away.
Thank you very much, Regula. That is really interesting on how to find value again in materials and stop exploiting out our natural resources. About this, I want to ask Howard. How do you explain? How do you say the green economy is and could be taken into account in local enterprises
or local community?
or
Can
local
everybody hear me?
communities? Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, hi everyone. I'm Howard from Taiwan, and it's a great pleasure to having me here. And for me, green economy is instead of involving ourselves into like green job or green industry, our YMCA are more focusing on like education or like youth program, teaching them about how a green like a mindset should be. Like we are now the one of our programs called the volunteerism, that we took Taiwanese young people to go abroad, to go over the world to doing international volunteer, and we will design these program into an environmental, culturally friendly program for these young people. So for these young people, they're not just doing like a volunteer, they're just not like a giver. They're more like a receiver because they are receiving culture value and like understanding of this world, and they're more like education. So I think this education is very valuable for these young people, because before they are involving into the green economy, they should know why green economy is so important in their future life and what part they can take in their future. So we have to intrigue their interest first before we can talk about green economy, because we will need more young people to involved in this green economy, so we will make it stronger and have a better future. So I think besides talking about green jobs, and maybe we can focusing more about like a green education for these young people, teaching them about like a green lifestyle, or like how should we do for to make our job or our industry much greener and much more environmental or culture friendly. I think by doing this, and we should maybe we can talk about this in the breakout room section. We can talk about how we transfer this program into the local level, into the community level, into individual level. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Howard. And it totally makes sense. It's about green economy, but it's not an isolated issue. Um, it's part of our lives. It has to be part of our lives. So the next question could be, if we are convinced that we need a green recovery from the pandemics, and we want to explore and develop green economy, so maybe young people want to find a green job. What is it? What is a green job, and what skills do they need to develop or to enhance to start their journey into the green jobs world? What do you have to say? Do you want to go again first, Marwan?
Sure, thank you very much. So, referring to the definition of given by the ILO, I mean, green jobs are decent jobs that contribute to preserve or restore the environment. So, I mean, in other words, they can also, and that's a bit in line with what was mentioned by Regula, they can include, green jobs include employment in the production of green products or services, but also in environmental friendly processes as well. And they should be decent and provide a living income in reasonable working conditions. They're also, I mean, while this one concept, they're also very, very diverse, and that's also the case in the context of rural areas and agriculture sector. So they can consist in greening a product that already exists or a service, or greening a process and marketing system as well. They can also take the form of wage employment, so that it's someone who works as an employee for regular income and wage, or working in self-employment either through an own or household enterprise. So just to give a few examples, they could be, in the example of agriculture, it could be agroecological practices, organic farming, no-till farming. Also other sectors like biopesticide production for pest control, green energy and biofuel production, ecotourism. So there are many, many, many examples. So those actually, green jobs can provide an attractive living and working environment, including for rural youth. And from those examples above, I just want to stress that they're quite important from an environmental sustainability perspective, because they can help addressing environmental degradation or contribute to climate action or the management of natural resources. But beyond the environmental sustainability perspective, they also help addressing the social and economic perspective, with the provision addressing decent work deficits in rural areas. So they do have the potential to address many of the global issues that we face in rural and green economy today. So youth under or unemployment or rural poverty. And they can actually help contribute to the Sustainable Development Goal 8, decent work and economic growth, but also other sustainable development goals. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And yes, definitely, it's not just about the economy, the green economy, but the environment, the social justice. So, thanks for the examples. And I want to ask Regular. You told us before that circular economy is creating and has the opportunity to create new types of jobs. So, what types of jobs do you think people can um, find within the circular economy?
So I just heard that in the initial plenary session yesterday, it was said by a gentleman, Christian Scharf of PwC, that in the recycling industry, there's a lot of future growth, particularly in the circular economy and the recycling industry. So I think that's a good example, right? In the past, we've seen waste as waste, and now we see waste as value. Because plastic in itself, for example, or paper or anything we threw away has a value. And so by bringing that back into reusing it and reusing and repurposing it, there is new jobs to come. And particularly also in the recycling industry, very simple. I mean, like, as I mentioned, we need to start thinking about the design of our products going forward, that they're most efficient and effective with the resources we use. And there in innovation and design are new jobs. There are a lot of entrepreneurial jobs out there in thinking about the material and how you can recycle and reuse it, right? So as an entrepreneur, as I mentioned, in the fashion industry, how we use the material, the cotton, and recycle and reuse it. So there is a lot of research and development to be done as well. But ultimately, there's just new ways of how we go about business and how we do business. But I think even within, for example, the financial industry I'm in, we're investing socially conscious and environmentally conscious. So we not just look at the return, but what we do is it has to be inclusive. It has to be a significant environmental impact. And I consider the financial industry who focuses really on funding these kind of industries and businesses as part of the green economy as well. So what I want to say is, look, whatever you're passionate about, whether it's finance or it's marketing or it's sales or it's product development, find companies or industries where you feel like they're really serious about the environmental aspects of your business, low carbon resource efficiency, and then within that, carve out the businesses you want to work with, which are aligned with your values. In every business and industry, there are good ones and there are not so good ones. Pick the ones who are really serious about sustainability and creating a good future for all of us.
Thank you. That's right. It's maybe that it's not only about a job in agriculture or in an organization of conservation, but any industry with responsibility, with the focus on sustainable development. Thank you, the three of you. Thank you very much for these amazing questions and debate. I'm sure we can go forward with it in the breakout session. For now, it's time to say goodbye, to wrap up. Thank you again, and see you in the breakout session. Thank you, Marwan. Thank you, Regula. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, everyone.
Right. Are we back? All right. Thank you. There was a delay on my feed right there. Thank you so much, Excel, Regla, Howard, and Maron for probably those particular great insights coming in onto how best should we look at the greener economy, and more so in this particular era of whereby we're trying to package our mindset, we're trying just to package ourselves as a whole to face the future of work. That was really great. But then again, also just because we're trying to wrap up and so much within a short period of time, allow me to go into probably what's going to come next. If you enjoyed that and want to join in this particular conversation, the conversation and the dialogue that has been held by Excel and the panelists, there is a breakout 60-minute deep dive discussion whereby they'll be picking up right where they left off after this particular plenary. Keep an eye, that's within your dashboard on the site for the breakout panel, specifically the one that has just been run by Excel regular, forward and one. And also in that particular breakout, we'll be taking your questions. So yeah, please come in loaded, engage them, engage them, engage them. Here we are. We are really done for today's plenary, but a bit of some special announcements that I want to bring across to you. And there's also a lot more live breakout sessions that will be taking place, such as one of the must-see breakout sessions will be there's a workshop and showcase from the Shozuski Foundation, and it's all centered on innovative creatives for the future of work. Rather, again, let me just take that again. Michael, allow me to. The must-see workshop and showcase from Suzuki Foundation's innovative creatives for our future program is actually a key segment that I'll urge you to look at. There's also the unpacking the biodiversity economy in Africa and opportunities for youth. And the last thing probably that I also want to bring onto your attention is a breakout panel on demystifying digital skills with the YMCA PLC alongside HP Live, Asuncia, and the Salesforce. So probably those are probably three critical breakout sessions that I will urge you not to miss. And again, after that, just try as much as possible to engage and network in this particular function. We have the speed networking styles with the delegates from different perspectives around the world. So hey, keep up the energy and finish up your day in style by engaging, and putting yourself into a particular breakout session. Then be sure to head to the resource library where we have hours of in-demand pre-recorded workshops for you. In the sense that our resource library within the dashboard will give you a chance to interact with the pre-recorded workshops that has been done purpose of this particular summit. And lastly, be sure to check out the schedule in the reception area for everything that's taking place tomorrow displayed in your local time. In the sense that it's already customized and localized within your time zone. So it enables you to have it easy on what particular session starts at what particular time. And
Hi everybody, it's me. I'm just stepping in for Kevin's as we noticed that his audio was having a couple of issues at the end there. But like he said, we are coming to the end of this plenary session. So I'm only here to really just tell you where to go next. You will see that on the side of the screen, you've got the breakout sessions icon, and we have a few things happening there. So go and have a look and pick your favorite breakout session. Some highlights that we want to point out is Swarovski's Foundations, Innovative Creatives for Our Future program. So go and have a look at that. Unpacking the biodiversity economy, very relevant to the green economy panel we've just seen. And another must see, do not miss, is Demystifying Digital Skills with YMCA Paisley in Scotland, HP Life, Accenture and Salesforce, some real big hitters. So do not miss. Thank you so much for joining us. We are now about to finish everything here on the plenary stage. So go into the breakout sessions, jump straight in. You'll be a viewer to start with, so you'll be in the chat and then start to listen, watch, take notes, and keep those tweets coming in with the hashtag YMCA Youth Solutions. Thanks very much, and we'll see you back on the plenary stage tomorrow.